So good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, class number 3 to our session number 2 for today. It is Thursday, the 4th of September 2025. And in our session today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to work on the first unit of reading and the first passage. In every reading, usually, we have 2 passages. So today, we are doing the first one. Can file one from the reading material, which you're supposed to get from the LMS. And one month here, we are talking about the United States and the first impressions. So the first impression, that means the first thought. So let's start with the size, how big it is. It is difficult to really experience or feel the size of the United States to get the full impact, effect, the full idea. You should realize, for example, that it takes 48 hours, which is 2 complete days, entire days, and 2 long nights to travel by train from Chicago to Los Angeles, rolling along hour after hour across wheat fields, mountains, and deserts. طبعا wheat, this is kind of food to prepare bread, wheat, or qamah. Pay attention to your mics, please, everybody. So please pay attention to your mics. And not to conferences in the United States with others more familiar to you. For example, New York to Washington, D.C. is about the same as London to Paris, or Nairobi to Mombasa, or Tokyo to Kyoto. New York to Los Angeles is further than Lisbon to Cairo, Moscow to Montreal, or New Delhi to Rome. Okay? If you have a problem, ladies and gentlemen, with the screen, the only choice for you is, I can't do anything about it. The internet or the system is not that good. So open your file, okay? So you can work on your own file and you follow, okay? This is the only solution, frankly speaking. And this is the first 2 paragraphs talking about what? The size of the United States. Okay, talking about with such distances, the climate in the continental United States is also one of a great extreme. It is very hot, very cold, a huge difference. From New England and New York to Chicago and much of the Midwest and Northwest, temperatures vary from sub-zero, under zero, in winter to the high 90s Fahrenheit or over in summer. So you see the differences. Even in winter it is very cold, in summer it is very hot. This is what we call extremes. But in the south and southwest have warmer weather, though even these sections have occasional, from time to time, occasional frosts when everything is what? Icy. And periods of moderate cold. Generally, summers are likely to range from 70 to 100 Fahrenheit. That means 21 Celsius to 38 Celsius. And many areas can be quite humid. Humid, like in Latakia and Tartus in summer, next to the sea, it is very humid, okay? However, air conditioning, the AC, is so widespread that you can expect most office buildings and homes to be kept at relatively comfortable temperature. That means there is no problem. So this is part 3, talking about the climate. Any problem with these 2 passages, C and D, please? 2 paragraphs, C, D. Okay. Now we move into paragraph E, movement, moving, okay? Americans are restless. They cannot sit down, they cannot relax. Most Americans travel whenever they get the chance. They crowd onto trains, buses, and the planes. In increasing numbers, they hike with bags on their backs or ride bicycles, heading for the mountains, seashore, or national parks. Any problem? Paragraph E, please. Difficult words. Your job is to memorize the new vocabulary, ladies and gentlemen, because the key to succeed in English is to memorize a lot of vocabulary. Now, blunt, blunt means a lot. You don't use a lot of language. So let's see what they mean by this. The Americans don't think that Americans are being rude, opposite of polite, if we tend to speak in monosyllables. Monosyllables meaning one word, like okay, sure. لفظ واحد, monosyllables. Or answer with a near okay, sure, or not, which is no. Or greet you with just hi. Our privity, privity means not too much speaking, is not a personal insult. Though to those accustomed to formal phrases, we seem blunt. Once again, يعني بالعربي ناشف. American informality has become more desirable than formal expressions of greeting or farewell. We know greeting, that means to say hi, and farewell is to say goodbye. So the Americans believe that this is the best way to speak to other people. So this is paragraph F, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have any problem with paragraph F, please? Okay. We move into another idea. Paragraph G, it says, the United States is a do-it-yourself country. We generally carry our own bags, take our laundry to the laundromat, stand in line at the grocery store, or shine our own shoes. So whether we may be lawyer, professor, bank president, or corporate executive, corporate executive means the big boss, the manager. Anyone who can afford the high cost of service in this country and wants to pay for it, it may. And if you like, no problem. Nobody has a problem. But there is absolutely no social stigma. That means people will not speak about you. He is or she is very cheap because he is doing it self, etc. in doing one's own daily chores. No matter how menial, how menial, how stupid, how simple, how silly. In fact, Americans take a pride, they feel proud of themselves in do-it-yourself accomplishment and may devote a great deal of their leisure time, their free time, to projects around the home. They use warehouse stores that provide, that helps do-it-yourself tasks have been built throughout the country. So once again, as you can see in this picture, the name could afford either or their family privacy or privacy. They don't want people to see. Independence and freedom from responsibility, all of which are at least partially lost when one has help in one's home. Okay, so the Americans prefer what? Privacy. They don't like people around. That's why you feel them very distant, not very friendly people. Okay. We move on. Paragraphs in reading and talking about the design of houses, their decorations, how to improve them. Ourselves, since they would thoroughly enjoy visiting and examining a house in another country, they assume, so they believe, they think, assume that you will probably have the same desire. Don't be surprised, therefore, if you are shown the entire house from top to bottom. Including bathrooms and the closets. Closets where you put your clothes. Closets. Don't make the mistake of refusing. Why? Because the whole house may have been cleaned especially for you. So this is the do-it-yourself society, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have any problem with this section, paragraph? And now, the United States has come from so many nationalities. There is a far wider range of what is acceptable than in some countries where the inhabitants, the local people, the residents, have grown up with a common heritage, the same ideas, the same history, the same traditions. As a result, no one needs to feel awkward and strange, shy. Or uncomfortable in following his or her own customs. Although Americans are noticeably formal, if you prefer somewhat greater formality, feel free to act in your own way. This will be acceptable to those around you. Okay? So this is what they talk about, what the Americans, once again, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have any problem with the whole passage? When I repeat how to study, you have to read the passage again and again, memorize the new vocab. That will help you to improve your English, okay? So any problem with the passage, please? Okay. Now, what? So we need to decide whether the sentences from 1 to 9 are true or false. For the United States has a varied geography, including fields, mountains, and deserts. As you can see, these are true. Now, number 2 for you. Its continental climate is basically moderate. Is it true or false? It is false. Thank you. It is what? Extreme. We don't know. Number 3. Its people are not very active. And spend most of their time reading books. So number 3, true or false? Also false, that's good, because they are what? Love to travel. Okay, nice. Now, sentence 4. They are rude and like to insult others with simple, direct words. Once again, this is false. That's correct. Number 5. Americans are very interested in their homes and love to show them off, even to people they don't know very well. Okay, that's good. Number 5 is true. 6. Americans spend a lot of time thinking and talking about the projects to fix up their homes. So number 6 is true as well. Number 7. They send their servants to use warehouse stores to buy decorations for their houses. So number 7 is false. Okay. Number 8. Americans come from many different nationalities. This is true. Here and number 9. They generally prefer formality and don't like people to be informal. So what do you think, number 9? Okay, this is what? False. And they prefer informality, and they have no problem. People can be formal. Okay, so number 9 is false. Do we have any problem, ladies and gentlemen? With the question number 2, please. Any problem? Okay. So if you have no problem, this is the reading for today. We are still moving slowly, and I am really sorry for last time that the internet was, cut. I couldn't just enter. Okay? So we are going to meet next class, and we are going to finish reading, okay, second passage. Okay? So we are moving a little bit slowly now, and then we are going to move a little bit faster, okay, so we can finish hopefully before your exam. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attendance. Have a very nice evening and very nice weekend for tomorrow. Enjoy it, and thank you all.